so what, and is that from, is this strap, I'm sorry, from...
Yobuki's.
Oh, I've never used
Yobuki
that.
Cookie. I've never either, but it's a beads of rice.
You like it?
I'm not a huge fan of beads of rice. They're for old farts. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, God.
Well, not really. They're kind of, I mean, don't they kind of look grandpa-ish?
They do look a little grandpa. I like them.
But you really like that.
So what's that say about me?
Yeah, well, you like grandpa styles. You have an Aftermarket.
It's true. God, my grandpa could wear that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's okay, though.
Hi guys, I'm Pat.
I'm Adam.
And welcome to
Properly Wound,
where we offer you a consumer's opinion on everything watch related. And today we have another review for you. And if you couldn't guess from the title, we have in a Seiko Sumo.
Sumo. Yeah, so we have the OG Seiko Sumo.
Oh, this is the SBDC001.
Yeah, so there's no X. So apparently these are getting kind of popular now. I guess it's kind of like the whole Rolex thing. One little thing changes on the dial and die-hard Seiko collectors go crazy.
So if you're wondering what the difference is, guys, let me get that out of the way now. If you've been looking into getting a modern Sumo, it's the same movement, it's the same case design, it's literally the same watch, except they have Prospex branding. So you'll see the Prospex branding on the dial. Instead of where it says automatic Scuba 200, it has a little X symbol there. And also that X symbol is followed on over to the crown. That's right. Those are the only two differences. And I actually like the old school Seiko Skittles S a lot. So it is aesthetically a little bit more pleasing on the crown. But if you can get over that, they're the same watch and you'll save a little bit more money buying the modern Prospex version. Yeah. So we both own Sumos. As a matter of fact, the first time I met Adam, he was wearing a Sumo. This isn't the one. Yeah, you were wearing
just like probably the black one, yeah.
Yeah. And I had a blue one.
I've had a couple of these actually.
Yeah, so this is pretty much an in-depth review from both of us. And now Adam owns a Sumo right now. This is his personal Sumo. I don't own one. My Squale kind of replaced that one. I feel like you need like one blue modern diver, and I got a good deal on mine, so I figure that's my modern diver. And if I were to claim any one of my watches as a beater, it's kind of the one I have fun with. You know what I mean? Like I feel like dive watches are the one watch you should have fun with.
Yeah.
But today we're talking about the SBDC001. 001.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's not that much to say about it, huh?
No. I got videos done, guys. No, you're using a 6R15 movement.
Yeah.
It's got a calendar window on the right-hand side here at the 3 o'clock position. It has a kind of 4 o'clock crown. And guys, we're going to reiterate, a lot of stuff that other people have said. And we've actually talked about this watch on the channel as well. We've never done a full-fledged review. Beautiful case design, very thick case, however.
The polishing and brushing combo on the Sumo is amazing.
Probably my favorite out of any dive watch they've ever made. Honestly, this is probably my favorite case design. My only thing I'll say is a shortcoming for this is that it's too large. I mean, the 6R15 is not a huge movement. You know, the case could have been much smaller, and I wish they would make like a 38 or 40 millimeters. You're good with it, though?
I'm okay with it. I think it's like a signature thing for the Sumo, especially with the super long lugs. I think that's what makes it look so badass, and the finishing looks so pronounced. Like it kind of grabs your attention.
It wouldn't be called the Sumo otherwise.
Yeah, exactly.
If it were smaller.
But it's also pretty. It's relatively thin, and the way that the lugs curve on your wrist make it extremely, extremely comfortable. You know?
Yeah. Oh, so let me get some of the basics out of the way really quick. So you have a 120 click unidirectional bezel, and it's very damp, but you can hear it clicking away there. And I have to say, I actually like how damp it is. It's very reminiscent of the Marine Master, also by Seiko. So if you're a fan of the Marine Master and you want to shave off a little of the asking price, maybe look into getting a Seiko Sumo instead. Of course, it doesn't have that 8L movement, which is essentially a Grand Seiko grade movement that's been unregulated. But you are still getting a very tried and true movement from Seiko. Of course, Seiko does everything in-house, so that's very, very cool. You have an aluminum bezel insert, but what's unique about the bezel is that you can actually see on the upper left-hand side of the watch, it steps down towards the mineral crystal. And yes, it is a Hardlex crystal, so I'm sorry if you were looking for sapphire crystal. It's not here, but a ton of different groups offer sapphire replacements. So if that's a must for you, it is there for you. You have a chapter ring that's sometimes misaligned. It looks okay on this one. But again, quality control with Seiko is all over the map. As a matter of fact, this one might even be just a little off, but that is okay because you know what? You can still read the time on it. Again, chapter ring gives you the minutes. Of course, you have huge, thick lume plots on the dial. It uses LumaBright, so it is very bright, but don't expect a watch with lume to last you all night. I think what the benefit of being a diver is that you're constantly in sunlight. Where the light is diffused through water, you're going to get a little light on the dial and it's going to help illuminate your watch. Whereas if you are just a regular consumer and it is the middle of the night, it's probably not going to be as bright as it was during the day.
Isn't the bezel action on that one really good?
The bezel action on this one, and I don't know if this is...
It feels like you're turning metal. You know, like hard, like this metallic. It has this metallic kind of clink to it.
You know, when we did the Marine Master review, I argued that it has the best bezel in the game, but this is honestly on board. And I don't remember my Blumo being that nice.
It almost sounds like a
master lock.
Yeah, like a master lock, or like even like a taser or something. But no, the bezel, I don't know. It's something with the. I mean, I guess this one, I don't know, the gaskets or something underneath this bezel. This bezel's really damn nice. It has a really nice action.
Maybe that's why you get the previous gen version, because the bezel is different.
Maybe.
Who knows? Because the bezel on my SBDC033, I believe is the blue modern one, didn't feel that good. It was good. It didn't feel that good. But the design cues on that watch are amazing. Again, probably my favorite case design for a Seiko diver. This is definitely my favorite case design. I don't like the handset, but I do like the case and the dial. But yeah.
By the way, guys, also, so... a lot of people complain that there are 20 millimeter lugs on such a massive case, and everyone says they should be 22. I couldn't disagree anymore. I think 20 is perfect on this watch. I think that's what makes the lugs pop so much on it.
It really works. It's a 44 millimeter case. It's about 13 millimeters thick, just a little bit thicker than 13. But I'm going to agree.
Which is great for a diver.
I'm going to agree. Like, I think the width of the watch and the width of the strap works really well. And you can kind of see here. Again, guys, so you know, this isn't the original strap you'd get with this watch.
Yeah, so this is a Yoboki's, I don't know how you say, Yobuki's beads of rice strap, which is actually pretty solid quality. The actual clasp is, it's like whatever, but...
It's very reminiscent of Seiko's own
clasp. Very true. A nice little, just fold over stamped clasp here. But the actual links are pretty nice, so...
Yeah, are the links themselves solid? Yeah. Are they screw in or push pin?
Push pin, right?
Okay, and then you have, they're not solid.
It was sized for me, so didn't even worry about it.
Got you. Yeah, it's interesting because these end links aren't solid. I will say that the strap you buy this on, it is a metal bracelet. I don't think you can get this on rubber, can you? It just comes on the bracelet.
It just comes on the bracelet, but you can have a typical Seiko waffle strap that looks great on that. And Crafter Blue makes a really, really great fitting aftermarket strap for that.
These watches get a lot of love. Like, there's a lot of really good custom parts, just like the Yoboki's beat-up rice bracelet.
Yeah.
I will say, I'm actually a big fan of the bracelet that comes on this watch. We don't have it in today, but it's a good bracelet. However, if you do want to customize this, there are parts all over the web. I mean, Strap Code does maybe 5 different strap variations.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting... I mean, I'm going to sell this thing now because you guys saw our previous road mapping video. I'm kind of trimming the fat. But this on an end mill or an Oyster Strap Code looks phenomenal, too.
Yeah, so why don't we give you... Because we both own the watch, it's weird. I feel like enough has been said about the Sumo, but why don't we elaborate on the points we like and maybe some of the ones we don't like for you.
Yeah.
Again, it's nice. This watch has been on the market for quite a while, a couple of years now. And again, there's all these aftermarket parts. So if you like customizing a watch, this is probably one of the better watches to get into.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about doing... There's a... DLW has a really, really sweet ceramic, all blacked out bezel that looks pretty badass on there. But yeah, I mean, I guess points that I really like. I like the contrast with the big case with the slightly smaller bracelet. I think it's kind of reminiscent of maybe some Rolex Deep Seas or Rolex divers in general.
I'll show you what that looks like on the wrist. Yeah.
So other points that we kind of touched on already. I think I really like how fat those lugs are and how long those lugs are. I think it really brings out the brushed and polished finishing on there.
I forgot how well this
yeah?
This is a 7 1/4 inch wrist, guys. If you're new to the channel, you wouldn't know it, but I have a 7 1/4 inch wrist.
You can see how well those lugs are just sort of contouring right to your wrist. And that's one of the things that I love the most about it too, is how they kind of just slope right down. It almost kind of wraps around your wrist, so it doesn't feel as large as it actually is, especially since it's only 13mm thick, which is pretty decent for a dive watch. I think dive watches
sort of
these days
standard
get to
fare.
like 15, 16, 17 sometimes. So yeah, I would say finishing, overall proportions of the watch, and yeah, that's probably the two biggest takeaways, really.
Yeah.
And I love the 4 o'clock crown position, obviously, signature to Seiko. And much like a lot of Seikos, when you bend your wrist back, the contour of the case on the side there doesn't dig into your wrist.
Yeah,
so it's
no
very, very
discomfort.
comfortable.
No discomfort. Even despite, you can see that crown just jutting out at that 4-ish o'clock position, it doesn't dig into your wrist because it's just ever so slightly offset. And I think that's where Squale kind of gets it wrong with the 1521 case design, because they've recessed the crown so much that it's kind of hard to, the accessibility of it has gone down because of that. But, Seiko, on the other hand, is just like loud and proud. They've got this crown jutting out. And this is secured all the way, guys. It is just jutting out of the case. But it doesn't cause any discomfort on the wrist, surprisingly. And again, it's because of the thickness mixed with those beautifully sloped lugs. And these are their famous twisted lugs. I think this is probably the watch where they got the name Seiko twisted lugs. And you'll see this sort of design cue taken to their other watch lines. A lot of their watches feature twisted lugs, I'll say, but this is sort of the king of that feature. I love this sort of Reese's cup bezel. It's humongous, and it actually slopes out at an angle. You can kind of see what I'm talking about, but it slopes away from the dial. It actually is wider in diameter at the top than it is at the bottom, and it's a really beautiful aesthetic. And I love how the sides of the case actually work as a guard for the bezel itself. You can see that the bezel is protected.
You can only operate it for the 12 and 6, basically, which is totally fine.
Oh, which is totally fine, and a really great design. It's the opposite of their monster. It's the opposite of their tuna, where they've actually built, sort of shrouds to guard the bezel itself. Whereas this is it's a part of the design of the case, where it just sort of naturally hides the bezel from any sort of bumps that might, prematurely move this bezel instead of where you had it set. And I absolutely love that. I'm not a fan of 120 click bezels, but it's done right on this one. Of course, you have a screw down crown here, so it is going to be water resistant up to the 200 meters it suggests on the dial. And I have to say, I really love everything about this watch. I love the case design itself. The one thing I don't like, however, is that handset. The handset is not that flattering. I just don't like it. There's no other way to put it. It's very unique to Seiko. I like that they went with an original design. They sort of have, it is very reminiscent to the old stoplight second hands on the old 6105s, but it's just not a very attractive looking handset for me. However, everything else design-wise is really great on this watch, so how can you knock the one thing when they've done so much right? And by the way, the lume, as you can tell, is actually applied to the dial. Those little markers are applied as opposed to painted on, like you'd find with some other modern Seiko divers. So a lot of bang for your buck. These run for a little over $300, maybe just under shy of $400.
I think they're around 400 now.
Oh yeah.
I think prices have gone up actually a little bit. No, for the newer ones on Amazon, I think they're like $440 or something like that as of August 2017.
Who would you say this is for? Who would you say this watch is for?
Oh man,
right?
For anyone that wants a really good dive watch that's not going to break the bank. Honestly, I think this is one of the best dive watches you can get for the sub 1,000 category. Probably top 5 dive watches under $1,000.
Yeah, and I would even say probably the top 3 under 500.
Oh, absolutely.
Easily one of the best dive watches you can get for under 500. Because the 6R15 movements, there's people praise it left and right.
I probably have it as top 2.
Yeah.
That I don't even know what else.
Zodiac.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sea Wolf, dude. But there's a lot of great watches sub 500 that have excellent build quality and good movements. But if you wanted something that was completely in-house, if that's something you're clamoring for, you can probably pick this up for sub 500. Sure. I would say this is definitely for anyone who's looking for an affordable beater. If you like having a beater in your collection and you want something other than a G-Shock and you don't want something that's quartz powered, this is a really great alternative for you. It's also just a very aesthetically pleasing dive watch at any price range. You know, Seiko's renowned for their dive watches, and this is a prime example of one of their better divers.
Absolutely.
For sure. I'd say it's for anyone who's interested in getting a dive watch. Sub 500, for sure. And the blue version is one of my favorites. I absolutely love the blue version. And
the blue one's very cool. There's a lot of cool special editions
now.
Yeah. Yellow, white. I mean,
green.
The prices are ridiculous.
Now there's a purple version that's
Patty.
out. I'm sorry, the Zimbei. There's a Zimbei purple and gold, and it's like a... it is like the case itself is painted black.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like off black. It's really ridiculous. There's a huge following for the Sumos, so you know you're joining a pretty awesome club, albeit not so exclusive. The Sumos are really, really getting up there now.
No doubt.
But yeah, guys, we had to do a video on one. We had one in. It's one of those watches that you've likely owned at some point. Oh, one other minor issue I have with this watch design-wise, aside from the handset, I mean, it has these like big Super Bowl letters, style like numbers on the bezel. Do you know what I mean? It feels like a Super Bowl ring for some. So if that's something you're going for, that's there. But I just don't. I'm not really a fan of how thick the number set is.
They're very thick.
Do you know what I mean?
I can totally see that, and I think a lot of people would probably agree with you too.
Yeah, but again, you know, it's very. Here's a traditional bezel from a Seiko diver. You know, very, very subtle, not so ostentatious numbers, whereas you have these loud, like sort of obnoxious numbers on the Sumo. But it's sort of its namesake. I mean, it's one of those design qualities of this watch. You either take it or leave it, and if you're not customizing it, you're just going to have to take it. Anyway, guys, if you found this video enjoyable, I'll suggest you hit that like button. If you like content like this, we produce 2 videos a week, so I'll suggest you subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. I'm pretty sure at this point we're right on the edge of 4,000 subscribers, so thank you guys for joining along on this ride with us. We've really enjoyed it. We started this page less than a year ago. We started at the beginning of January. So guys, thank you for making this community larger. I'm really excited to see where we're going. I've got a bunch of different specials in my mind lined up, things I want to do for you. So please join along for the ride. And you can also follow us over on our other social media forums.
Yeah, guys, follow us at Properly Wound on Instagram, properlywound.com, and Properly Wound Facebook group, where we both interact regularly.
Yeah. So guys, thank you for joining us on this video, and we will catch you on the next one.
See you guys.